Now assume for a moment that if the government does something which is unconstitutional, what is the immediate reaction? Let us go to court. But what if you do not agree with a decision of the court? From there, where do you go? What's your next option? You obviously don't have the doors of the president open, always. You can't go back to the government again because you don't know whether the government has enough political incentive to act on your wishes. So why is it that you need an institution such as the judiciary? So here's the simple question. Democracy functions on the assumption that a government is elected by the will of the people, at least a significant majority of the people. Now, therefore, the assumption is that the government represents what you want. If the government represents what you want, and the government has the mandate to effectively give, let's say, implementation or to give effect to your wishes, then why do you need a judiciary? Judiciary is not an elected body. From the district level to the Supreme Court level, you as a people do not have any right to elect anyone or to appoint anyone, correct? Then why do you need an unelected body to preside over the decisions of an elected body? What is the logic behind it? If this is a republic where you have decided to subscribe to a form of government, wherein you vote those people who stand for what you want, then why do you have an unelected system to oversee and supervise the conduct of the elected republic? Why? Because the logic is that since it is a constitutional form of democracy, sometimes the politician's decision may not reflect the majority's will. And second, sometimes even if it represents the majority's will, it may not be consistent with the constitution. And therefore, you need some kind of a check and balance is the assumption. And that is why you need a judiciary. And the reason why you try and have a relatively unelected body such as the judiciary is because the politician has to make a lot of compromises to reach where he has. He needs this vote bank, he needs that vote bank, he needs all these people and their goodwill to reach where he must. And therefore his decision is always subject to and starts from the point of compromise. A politician's decision at the outset is a compromise. It is never ideal. If you were to take individual decisions, you start from an ideal position and then you try and bargain to a middle ground. But the politician's ideal ground is the middle ground, which means any decision relating to your religion is not going to start from an ideal position, it is always going to start from a compromised position. And therefore, the hope is that the judiciary is relatively uninfluenced by these vote bank considerations, and its only loyalty is to the law, which is the constitution, and is therefore best positioned to do justice to your expectations. Because I'm sure everybody as a voter understands and agrees that just because you have voted a certain government to power, you can never be sure that you will be in a position to agree with everything that the government does. Not possible. And you can't even be sure that the government you have voted to power will always take a decision which is in your best interests. Because your best interest is not the sole interest of that government. Right?